Please, when you're ready, I'm ready. Good morning, Miss Daya.
Good morning, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well. I think we have at least one
Yes, sir.
uh, person that will need it. You all are on mute. I, are you all ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Judge Marcus Thorpe. It's approximately 11:02 a.m. here this morning, and this is the first appearance calendar here in Clayton County. I'm one of the associate magistrate judges. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have trouble hearing me, please let me know, as there's going to be some important information that I'm going to provide both during as well as before this morning's hearing. Let me first say, ladies and gentlemen, I am not here to try to take a plea or to have any legal discussions with you about the specific facts of your case. The purpose of today's hearing, ladies and gentlemen, is for me to discuss with you the rights that you have, the charges against you, to set bond on those offenses for which the court is authorized to set bond, to schedule a preliminary hearing, to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. Now, ladies and gentlemen, each of you have the right to remain silent. So again, please do not tell me any specifics about your case or any legal defense that you believe you may have. As I said earlier, we are streaming live and this is being recorded. And so by you saying something that may harm you, you are making not only myself, but everyone else that's on this recording or those that are there with you within the jail witnesses to your case. Now, in addition to the right to remain silent, each of you also has the right to a presumption of innocence, the right to an indictment by grand jury for felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors, the right to a speedy and public trial by jury, the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf, the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you, the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense, the right to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford one, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you all who are not citizens, there are some charges that may adversely affect your immigration status. And so you will need to consult with an immigration attorney after today's hearing. Now, as I say, in addition to speaking to each of you about what you've been charged with, we're also going to talk about what is called bond. Bond is that amount which you would pay to allow you to be let out while your case is still pending. Doesn't mean that your case will be resolved, but you wouldn't have to remain in custody. There are three ways to make bond. You can either make your bond in cash, commercial, or property. The example that I like to use would be if I tell you today that you are charged with battery family violence and that your bond is $6,000, the first way that you can make bond would be when either you or someone you know would pay that $6,000 to the sheriff's office plus any administrative fees. The sheriff's office would then hold that $6,000 until such time as your case is closed and that money will be returned to you. If you do not have that money in full, you can use a bonding company or commercial bond. There, you would only be responsible for up to 15% of the bond. And so the example that I talked about, at $6,000, you're roughly talking about you would need about $750, and you would bring that to the sheriff's office. But the difference is you don't get that money back. The last way to make bond would be the use of a property bond. And there, it would require you or someone you know to have at least 3 times the amount of your bond in equity in the property that they own. So again, the example that I use is $6,000 bond. Either you or someone you know would need a piece of property that is worth at least $18,000, and they would need to bring that deed down to the sheriff's office where it would be held until such time as your case is closed. Now, in addition to the charges and your bond, ladies and gentlemen, there are what we call special conditions. And some of you will have special conditions on your bond. And those conditions will prohibit that you not speak with certain people or have any contact whatsoever, or to not return to places that I tell you to not return to. If I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, to have no contact with someone today, please do not have contact with that person. You cannot email them, call them, text them, send them IM messages or DMs on social media. You can't even do something as nice as write them a song. If I tell you not to go back to a particular place, even if that was somewhere you were living prior to the date of this incident, or you were living at the time that this happened, please understand you are not allowed to return there at all while this case is open unless you make bond and you are with the sheriff's office who bring you there within 10 days of your release. Your failure to abide by either of those conditions, if I tell you that you have them today, do subject you to additional felony charges and up to 20 years in prison and $20,000 in additional fines. Now, the last thing, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, that I need to let you all know about is what is called a preliminary hearing. A preliminary hearing is a hearing where you, the police officer, and the judge are present. The judge will listen, to the evidence that the police officer has against you. It's not your trial, ladies and gentlemen. It's a hearing to determine if there is enough evidence to go forward in your case to the prosecutor. If there is enough evidence, the judge will move it forward. If there is not, the judge may dismiss it. Now, those of you all who are charged with felonies, if you don't make your bond, you automatically will be given a preliminary hearing date here this morning. For those of you all who are charged with misdemeanors, as you come up before me, I'm going to ask you whether or not you would like to have your preliminary hearing. Again, this is not your trial, but this is a hearing to determine if there is enough evidence against you to move forward. I will ask you, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to have that hearing date set for you, or you have the option to waive that hearing. If you choose to waive that hearing, ladies and gentlemen, that does speed up your case a little bit because it will go directly to the prosecutor instead of the additional court date that comes when you go forward to have your hearing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at that point, if everyone would please go ahead and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the information that you've provided on the court-appointed counsel, as well as what you will provide here this morning, will be the truth and nothing but the truth? And if it will, I need each of you to repeat, I do. I do. All right, you may lower your hands. All right, deputies, I understood we did have one individual. I think I see him here, the gentleman to my left, who will need a translator. What's his name?
Rios, Ciano.
Okay.
He's already before you.
To the wall, sir.
All right. All right, Ms. Day, if I could have you please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the information that you're going to translate from English to Spanish and Spanish to English will be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to Mr. Rios, please.
Señor Ríos, buenos días. Mi nombre es Deyanira Bermúdez. Yo voy a ser su intérprete en la mañana de hoy. That's fine.
Good morning, Mr. Rios. My name is Thorpe, and I'm here to conduct your first appearance hearing.
Buenos días, señor Ríos. Yo soy el juez Thorpe y yo estoy acá para tener su comparecencia inicial en el día de hoy.
Now, Mr. Rios, we are not here to talk to you about a trial or take a plea. I am here to advise you of what you've been charged with and set a bond if possible.
Señor Ríos, yo no estoy acá para hablar de un juicio o para aceptar una declaración a cargos. Yo estoy acá para informarle de lo que se le acusa y para asignarle una fianza si es posible.
Now, before we begin, Mr. Rios, just a few things I need you to remember.
Antes de comenzar, señor Ríos, hay varias cosas que yo necesito que usted recuerde.
You have the right to remain silent, sir.
Usted tiene el derecho de permanecer en silencio, señor.
You have the right to the presumption of innocence.
Usted tiene el derecho de a tener la presunción de inocencia.
You have the right to an indictment by grand jury for felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors.
Usted tiene el derecho a que se le formule una acusación por cargos graves por parte del gran jurado, que se le formule una acusación para los delitos menores.
You have the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf.
Usted tiene el derecho de exigir la presencia de testigos para que testifiquen a su favor.
You have the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you.
Usted tiene el derecho de ver, escuchar y contrainterrogar a los testigos que sean citados a testificar en su contra.
You have the right to testify yourself or offer evidence in your own defense.
Usted tiene el derecho de testificar a su favor y de presentar pruebas para ser utilizadas en su defensa.
You have the right to an attorney to represent you, and if you cannot afford one, I will consider appointing you one this morning.
Usted tiene el derecho de tener un abogado para que lo represente y si usted no tiene los medios para contratar un abogado, yo voy a considerar asignarle un abogado en la mañana de hoy.
Also, Mr. Rios, if you are not a citizen Please keep in mind, some of these charges may affect your immigration status, and you will want to therefore consult an immigration attorney.
Y señor Ríos, si usted no es ciudadano americano, algunos de estos cargos podrían afectar su estatus migratorio y por esta razón usted debería de consultar con un abogado de migración.
After I advise you, Mr. Rios, of what you've been charged with, I'm also going to tell you what your bond is, which is that amount of money you may pay to be released until your case is closed.
Señor Ríos, después que yo le informe cuáles son los cargos en su contra, yo le voy a informar cuál sería la cantidad de su fianza y esa es la cantidad que usted pagaría para poder salir de la cárcel.
You may make your bond in one of three ways.
Usted podría pagar su fianza en una de tres maneras.
The first would be to pay it in full to the sheriff's office along with fees, where they will hold it until your case is closed.
Lo primero sería pagar la cantidad total de su fianza en efectivo a la comisaría, más las tarifas de ley, y ellos se quedarían con este dinero hasta el final de su caso.
The second way would be if you don't have all of the bond amount I'm going to give you, you can use a bonding company that only requires you to pay 15%, but you don't get that money back.
Y la segunda forma sería que usted, si usted no tiene la cantidad total de su fianza en efectivo, usted utilice una compañía de fianza comercial. Ellos le cobrarían hasta un 15% de la cantidad total de la fianza, pero no les reembolsan ese dinero.
And then the last way would be if you or someone you know owns a piece of property that is worth at least 3 times your bond, they may bring the deed to that property down and the sheriff will hold it until the case is closed and then they will return it.
Y la tercera forma es que si usted o una persona que usted conoce tiene una propiedad la cual tenga un capital neto que sea por lo menos 3 veces la cantidad total de su fianza, ellos traen el título de dicha propiedad a la comisaría y ellos se quedarían con este título hasta el final de su caso.
So with that, Mr. Rios, I want to go through your charges with you.
Y con esto, señor Ríos, yo quiero repasar sus cargos con usted.
Sir, you are charged with 1 count of defective windshield,
Señor, a usted se le acusa de tener un cargo, se le imputa un cargo de tener un parabrisas dañado.
that carries a bond of $500.
Eso conlleva una fianza de $500.
You are charged with 1 count of driving without a license that carries a bond of $1,500.
A usted se le imputa un cargo de manejar sin licencia de conducir y eso es una fianza de $1,500.
You are charged with 1 count of open container that carries a bond of $1,000.
A usted se le imputa un cargo de tener un envase alcohólico abierto y eso es una fianza de $1,000.
And you are charged with driving with no tag, which carries a bond amount of $500 as well.
Y se le imputa el cargo de manejar sin placas, lo cual es una fianza de $500 también.
Your total bond, sir, is $3,500.
La cantidad total de su fianza, señor, es de $3,500.
Are you currently working, sir?
Actualmente, ¿está usted trabajando, señor?
Sí,
Yes.
And how much money do you make per month?
¿Y cuánto gana usted por mes?
alrededor de 4,000, 4,500.
Around $4,000, $4,500.
Okay. Now, because of that, sir, if you need a lawyer to assist you on your case, you will have to hire your own as you do not qualify for me to appoint you one.
Por esta razón, señor, si usted necesita un abogado para que lo ayude con su caso, usted necesitaría contratarse su propio abogado porque yo no le puedo asignar uno.
Pero si yo pago ahorita, toda esa cantidad puedo salir ahorita.
But if I pay this amount right now, can I be
Oh.
released right now?
If you have that available to you, yes, sir, please speak with the sheriff's office and they will discuss allowing you to be released after today's hearing is over.
Sí, señor. Si usted tiene eso disponible, usted lo puede pagar y hablar con la comisaría y ellos le permitirían salir ya después que termine esta audiencia.
Y está bien, yo pago el dinero.
Yes, that's fine. I'll pay the money.
Now, in the meantime, sir, if you don't make your bond, you do have a right to what is called a preliminary hearing.
Y mientras tanto, señor, si usted no paga su fianza, usted tiene el derecho a tener lo que le llaman una audiencia preliminar.
A preliminary hearing is where you are present, the judge is present, and the police officer that arrested you to determine if there's enough evidence for your case to move forward.
Una audiencia preliminar es donde usted va a estar presente, el juez va a estar presente y el policía que lo arrestó va a estar presente y eso sería para determinar si su caso va a proceder.
It is not your trial, sir. Let me just be clear about that.
Déjeme estar claro en esto, señor, de que esto no sería su juicio.
So you, as being charged with a misdemeanor, have a right to that hearing, or you can waive that hearing and I would send your case where it would move much faster to the prosecutor.
Usted, como se le acusa de delitos menores, usted tiene el derecho de tener esa audiencia o tiene el derecho de renunciar a esta audiencia y de esa manera el caso procedería más rápido para ir o pasar ante un fiscal.
Pero le digo yo, ahorita si me dejan hacer una llamada y vienen y pagan para salir.
But if they allow me to make a phone call, they can just come and pay it, so I could be released.
So if you believe that you're gonna make your bond, sir, then I will go ahead and show that you're waiving your right to that hearing that I just spoke about. And so the deputies are gonna have you sign a piece of paper, and then that's all I have for you this morning, Mr. Rios.
Señor, si usted está seguro que ellos van a venir a pagar, entonces yo le voy a permitir que usted firme el formulario de renuncia, el alguacil se lo va a mostrar y esto sería todo en el día de hoy.
Si está venciendo, le digo, nomás me prestan el teléfono para hacer una llamada.
Yes, if they just allow me to use the phone so I can make a phone call.
All right, thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Gracias, señor, y buena suerte.
Ya.
Come around here to
Thank
this.
you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Daya.
You are welcome, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
John, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the females on today's calendar.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I'm showing Roberts, Thompson on jobs, and then I believe it's Bazemore off jobs, and that should be those three. And you can actually bring up Roberts and Thompson together because I'm
Both signed
continuing.
on the computer.
The judge got some.
He can't sign yet, Your Honor. Rios.
Oh, excuse me. Yep, let me add that.
Robert?
It should have gone
They
through.
all three of them. Hey, Your Honor, you want Jots first, or you want me to just go straight down the list?
Jots, Roberts, and Thompson.
Roberts?
Yep, I'm Roberts, Thompson, and then I'll have Bazemore is what's showing on my end. And I'm finishing up Rios here, so you should give me 2 seconds here, and it should be ready.
No.
You need a key?
All right, so Rios should be good to go now. All right, are you Miss Roberts?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Roberts, we're here this morning and I was here to advise you of what your charges are, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
I've had a chance to review the information that was provided to me. There were some concerns that I had about the information. We were not able to get it corrected so that I could properly present to you what you've been charged with.
Yes,
And so as a result of that, ma'am, I am going to go ahead and continue your case until tomorrow. Don't worry. I'll be the judge that's going to be here as well tomorrow. And so I'm going to go over there with you tomorrow. We're going to do the same thing again here tomorrow, and then I'll be able to go over your bond on that particular day with you, okay?
Okay, so I'm in here till tomorrow or,
Yes, ma'am, at least till tomorrow. Yes, ma'am.
okay,
Okay, any other questions I can answer for you, ma'am?
no, sir.
All right, so again, I've gone ahead, continued your matter, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Let me ask one quick question. Did Mr. Rios, he waived his preliminary hearing?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Mhm.
Sign this too. Hold on.
Next lady, come on.
Hello, are you Ms. Thompson?
Yeah.
Are you Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Thompson, I have reviewed the information that we have against you. I was prepared to go over with you your charges this morning, ma'am. Unfortunately, there was some missing information here that I need in order to properly advise you of what you've been charged with. So because I'm missing that information, I'm gonna have to continue your matter until tomorrow. And so I'm gonna have the officers bring you up tomorrow so that you and I can properly discuss that, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
All right, should be Bazemore, and then we'll be on the men on Jots. I've got Alvarez, Frisco, and Harmon up first on the men. Alvarez, Frisco, and Harmon. Are you Ms. Bazemore?
Yeah, I'll
Yes,
just come
sir.
in here.
All right, so Ms. Bazemore, you were charged with one count of driving under the influence of alcohol and one count of improper passing on emergency lane. The DUI carries a bond amount of $2,500. The improper passing carries a bond amount of $500. So your total bond, ma'am, is $5,000.
Okay.
I show here that you are not working. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes, sir. I recently lost my job.
Okay, so I am gonna go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer free of charge. And so that means you won't have to pay for a lawyer. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, as far as a preliminary hearing, if you recall, I spoke earlier about a preliminary hearing. Do you know whether you'd like to have that hearing or waive that hearing?
I would like to waive it.
Okay, so I am gonna show him this morning that you're waiving your right to your preliminary hearing. And so what that's gonna mean, since you are waiving your right to that hearing, are that the deputies are gonna have a piece of paper for you to sign. And then once you sign that piece of paper, ma'am, that's all we have for you this morning. Do you have any questions with me about anything?
I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Because my bond is 5,000, is that for both charges together, correct?
Correct. That's what both charges.
Okay, so like you explained, there are 3 ways to do bond. The commercial one is a bonding company, correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay, so would I be able to leave today if my mom was to pay for my bond?
I can't tell you how quickly that's gonna get done. That's gonna be between you and the sheriff's office, how quickly it gets done. But obviously, the sooner the better for you.
Okay.
We'll get you out sooner than later.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
All right, thank
All
you.
right,
and I
ma'am.
appreciate you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Good luck to you. All right, if I could have, it should be Alvarez, Frisco, and Harmon.
Alvarez.
Frisco, and then Harmon.
I was told that after this, I was supposed to ask you to check into
Hello, are you Mr. Alvarez?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
All right, good morning, Mr. Alvarez. So you were charged with one count of battery family violence as a misdemeanor and one count of aggravated assault as a felony. Because you were charged with a felony, sir, your preliminary hearing date, which will be the next date that you'll have in court if you don't make your bond that I'm gonna go over with you. Your preliminary hearing date is gonna be January 22nd. Deputies, we gotta keep it down. I can hear him. Mr. Alvarez, your preliminary hearing date is gonna be January 22nd at 8:30 a.m. and that's gonna be via Zoom. Okay?
You said January 22nd?
January 22nd, 8:30 a.m. via Zoom, okay?
Okay.
Now, as to your bond, sir, your battery family violence carries a bond amount of $2,500. The aggravated assault, I'm gonna put you on a no bond here, sir, based on the allegations today. You do have special conditions. Your special conditions are gonna be that you stay away if you are granted a bond at a later time from this individual, the alleged victim, Jasmine Leon, and that you also stay away from the address of 228 Morrow Road. Do you understand that?
Even if that's where I live?
So as I said earlier, sir, if that's where you live and at some point you are granted a bond, because you're going to get also a second court date that I was going to tell you about, January 24th, for them to review your bond of next year. If they give you a bond at a later time and you make that bond, sir, you're allowed to go back, but only when the sheriff's office accompanies you and within 10 days of your release from custody while your case is pending. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have here, sir, that you just want to confirm that you are not currently working. Is that right?
No, I am.
Okay. give me-
Hey, that's what I work.
Okay, you are working. Okay. And how much are you earning per month?
Like 3,000.
Yeah, baby.
Okay. Do you have any children, sir?
Yes, I have a 10-month-old.
Okay. So based on the information that you provided, sir, you do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I am going to go ahead and I have to advise you that if you want an attorney for your case, that you will have to purchase your own. Do you understand that?
All right.
Or excuse me, retain your own. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
So I won't be able to make bond today?
No, sir. So you got a bond on that misdemeanor. You do not have a bond on the felony. And at this point, so no, sir, you do not have a bond. And so you're gonna have to wait until that 24th for them to reconsider your bond at that time.
All right.
All right. Any other questions I can answer for you, Mr. Alvarez?
No questions.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
That goes to back down.
Yes, sir. All right, should be Mr. Frisco be up next, and then after Mr. Frisco, I've got Harmon and then Kervin Jock. All right, good morning, sir.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Are you Mr. Frisco?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Mr. Frisco here, you were charged with 1 count of loitering or prowling, 1 count of possession of less than 1 ounce of marijuana. You were charged with, I'm sorry? You were charged with
What was the
1
first
count
time? Probably.
loitering or prowling. Loitering or prowling. They're alleging that you were in a place that you weren't supposed to be at a time that you're not supposed to. Okay. You are also charged with 1 count of less than 1 ounce of marijuana, 1 count of drug-related objects, and 1 count of a felony possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Now, because you were charged with a felony, sir, I'm going to go over your bond. If you do not make your bond, your next court date is going to be your preliminary hearing, and that's going to be on January 22nd of 2025 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Again, that's January 22nd, and that's going to be at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, now as to your bond, sir, the loitering or prowling carries a bond of $1,500. The misdemeanor marijuana carries a bond of $1,000. The drug-related objects, a bond of $500. And then the firearm by a convicted felon, sir, I am gonna have to put you on a no bond here this morning because I understand that you are currently, according to the information I have, it says here that you are currently on probation. And so because of that, legally, sir, I am not allowed to give you bond. And so again, you're gonna get that first court date, your preliminary hearing on the 22nd of 2025, and then you're gonna get a second court date. That's where they're gonna reconsider your bond, and that's gonna be on the 24th of January at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand that?
So I got 2 court dates next month.
Yes, sir. The 22nd for your prelim, the 24th for your bond hearing. All right, any other questions I can answer for you, sir?
Yeah, you said, I just don't go with the price. You said buying 1,500 for the loitering.
Yes, 1,500 on the loitering. And here, I'll give it all to you again. Give me 1 second.
That's how I do it.
The loitering is 1,500, marijuana is 1,000, drug-related objects is 500, and the firearm is a no bond.
So altogether, it's gonna be.
You were looking at 25, $3,000, but then remember, you don't have a bond on the firearm. So that's not your total. That's just what you got with a bonding number on it as of right now. Okay. All right. Any other questions I can answer for you?
No.
All right, sir. Good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Everybody here is Josh.
All right. And are you Mr. Harmon?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you there. So
Yes,
you
sir.
are Mr. Harmon? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Harmon. How are you?
Good.
Did they give you some paperwork? Oh, here you go. All right, so Mr. Harmon here, you are charged with 1 count of possession of a firearm by a convicted felony, sir. That is a felony. That means that I'm gonna give you a court date here if you don't make your bond. Your bond amount, sir, your next court date is January 22nd of 2025 at 8:30 a.m. Your bond, sir, this morning is gonna be $8,000. Do you understand that?
$8,000?
Yes, sir, $8,000.
Yes, sir.
All right, now, according to the information here, I have that you are not working. Is that
Yes,
correct?
I'm on disability, yes.
Okay. So because of that, sir, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer. You will have a lawyer free of charge that will be able to assist you on your case, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Huh?
All right, so it should be, yes, ma'am.
Hey, Your Honor.
Does Frisco, qualify for a court-appointed attorney or does not?
Frisco did qualify.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Sorry about that.
And Your Honor,
Oh, no.
Amos Ferguson, he bonded out before the start of first appearance.
Ferguson, okay, I will note it. And so we should have Kervin Jock, Mamadi Keita, Keita, and then Michael Richards should be the next.
Got him on the bench ready for you.
All right. Are you Mr. Jacques?
Yes, sir.
All right. So Mr. Jacques, couple things I need to let you know here this morning. You were initially charged, sir, with 1 count of misdemeanor criminal trespass and 1 count of battery family violence. I reviewed the information, Mr. Jacques, that I had on you this morning, and I need to advise you, and I don't need you to respond to this, but based on what I saw, sir, you have a previous felony charge of, a previous misdemeanor charge of family violence. And so because you had that previous charge of that, sir, I have to legally upgrade this current battery family violence, and it's going to be a felony. And so again, the police arrested you for a misdemeanor, but because I am showing that you have a new charge here, that's going to become a felony instead. Do you understand that?
Sir.
Hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you understand what I'm telling you?
Yes.
Okay, now, because this is going to be a felony, sir, that means your next court date, you're gonna get a preliminary hearing date if you don't make your bond. Your next court date is going to be January 22nd of 2025, and that's gonna be at 8:30 a.m., and that's gonna be via Zoom. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Now, as to your bond, the first count criminal trespass, family violence carries a bond amount of $2,500. The battery, again, which has been upgraded, carries a bond amount of $7,500 for a total bond of $10,000. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, you do have special conditions, sir, and those are to stay away from the alleged victim, Miss Tierra Jones, as well as the address of 302 Morrow Road. As I told the individuals before you, sir, if that was somewhere that you were living prior to this accident, or excuse me, this incident happening, please understand you are not allowed to go back to that incident location unless you make your bond and you are accompanied by the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release. Do you understand, Mr. Jacques?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, sir. Well, that's all I have for you this morning. Good luck to you.
So I do have a bond.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your
It
Honor.
was 10,000 total.
Yes,
Thank
yes, sir.
you.
Thank
Does
you.
he qualify for
Thank you.
attorney?
Next man, step up.
Go
Next
ahead.
man, step up to the field.
Does he qualify for a court appointed?
Yes, he did. I'm sorry about that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm used to doing all this stuff myself, having y'all on here.
I got you back.
Are you Mr. Keita?
Yes.
All right, good morning, Mr. Keita.
Good morning.
Mr. Keita, you are charged with one count of giving a false information to a law enforcement officer, sir. That is a misdemeanor. I have reviewed the information that we have here, sir, regarding your case. So I am going to release you this morning. Now, let me be clear, sir, that does not mean that your case is over. It simply means that you do not have to remain in custody until your next court date. Do you understand that, Mr. Keita?
Yes, sir.
Now, when they do release you later today, Mr. Keita, please make sure that you understand that they have a good address for you, so that you're going to get that next court date in the mail, okay?
Okay.
Now, I've reviewed the information here that I have for you, sir. Now, you do qualify for court-appointed counsel, so I am going to also give you an attorney free of charge here this morning, okay?
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Any questions I can answer for you this morning?
No.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Keita.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next man, step up to the field.
And then after Richards, I've got Stevens, Taylor, and I believe it's Viria.
Yes,
Stevens,
sir.
Taylor, and Viria. Are you Mr. Richard?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Richards, you are charged here by the law enforcement that arrested you with one count of failure to maintain signal and one count of possession of less than 1 ounce of marijuana. Those are both misdemeanors, sir. Now, based on the information that you provided to me, sir, I am going to go ahead and release you here this morning, so essentially waiving your right to that preliminary hearing. So you will be allowed to leave here later today. Now, again, let me be clear, sir, that does not mean that your case is closed. All that simply means is that you do not have to remain in custody until such time as your next court date. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And so before you're released here today, sir, please make sure the sheriff's office has a good address to you, because that's where your next court date is going to go, okay?
Okay.
Just lastly for you, sir, based on the information I have, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed attorney here this morning, okay?
Okay.
All right, any questions of me, sir?
No, sir. Thanks.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Next man, step up.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
And are you Mr. Stevens?
I am, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Stevens. How are you this morning?
I've been better, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. I completely understand. I'm gonna make this quick for you, Mr. Stevens. You're charged with one count of misdemeanor simple battery that is a misdemeanor. And so because it's a misdemeanor, sir, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that right. That's the hearing that I spoke of earlier. Would you like to have that hearing, sir, or waive that hearing?
I would like to have that hearing.
All right, so I'm going to show that you would like to set your hearing date here this morning. And so that hearing date, sir, is going to be January 21st of 2025, and that's going to be at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's January 21st, 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, now as to your bond here, sir, again, one count of simple battery, family violence. Your bond amount, sir, is $2,500, okay?
Okay.
And then you also have special conditions. Your special conditions, sir, are that you stay away from the alleged victim. Her name is Stephanie Garner. And that you also, yep, no, that's it right there. Okay. It's just that you stay away from the alleged victim. Now, I was looking at the information you provided, so I understand here that you are working and that you're earning approximately about $1,700 a month. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Give or take, yes, sir.
Okay. Sir, based on that information, sir, you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney this morning. I am going to give you an attorney free of charge, okay?
Your Honor, I have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Me and Stephanie Garner, we work together as well.
So, I can understand how that probably creates a problem. It's probably not something I'm willing to address here this morning based on the allegation. What I would tell you is, since you do have a lawyer that is going to assist you on your case, that would be something that I would discuss with them, that they can modify that. But until such time as that's modified, the best thing that I can tell you is that if she comes to work, you know, you might want to talk with your boss, or you might want to take a few days off until such time as this gets squared away. Now, again, that's just my suggestion. I'm not telling you that's what you have to do, but you don't want to be caught in violation of this. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, any other questions I can answer for you, Mr. Stevens?
So I understand I need to talk to my supervisor. If there was a something to go on at work and officers come up there and we're both at work, would I be arrested?
I mean, you're asking me for legal advice here this morning, and I'm not allowed to give you that. All I can do is tell you is that right now you do have in place a stay away, and you're to have no contact with her.
Yes, sir. You said, and how much was my bond again, sir?
$2,500.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Come on, the next man, step up.
Good morning.
Good morning. Are you Mr. Taylor?
Yes, I am.
Mr. Taylor, you're charged with one count of battery, one count of theft by taking, and one count of aggravated assault. The battery and theft by taking, sir, are misdemeanors. The aggravated assault is a felony. I tell you that, sir, because your next court date, should you not make the bond that I'm going to give you here this morning, is going to be January 22nd, and that's going to be at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's January 22nd, that's 8:30 a.m., and that's via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Now, as to your bond, sir, the battery carries a bond of $3,500, the theft $2,500, and the aggravated assault, sir, I'm going to have to put you on a no bond here this morning. Based on the information I have determined, sir, that you do not qualify as of today for a bond on that aggravated assault.
Why do I not?
Based on, hey, my opinion, sir, you don't qualify today. These are some heinous allegations. Okay? Now, you will get a second court date, a bond hearing, sir, where they can reconsider your bond. Now, that bond hearing is going to be 2 days after your prelim. It's going to be on January 24th at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's January 24th for your bond, so they can reconsider that ag assault at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Only other thing I need to tell you, Mr. Taylor, is you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. And so I have gone ahead and appointed, given you the authority or the right to get an attorney here this morning. So you will have someone to speak to about that, okay?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
So can I just repeat the thing? So you said, my
Yes.
court date is January 22nd.
Right, you got two, the 22nd and the 24th.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Anything else you want to ask?
That's it.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Detail. Yeah.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. And after Mr. Vieira, it should be Wedlow and Woods on Jot, and then we'll be off. Are you Mr. Vieira?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Vieira, you are charged with 1 count of battery family violence as a misdemeanor and 1 count of cruelty to children as a misdemeanor. Because you were charged with misdemeanor, sir, you have a right to a preliminary hearing that I mentioned earlier, or you can waive that right to that hearing. Would you like to have that hearing or waive that hearing, sir?
I have that hearing.
All right, so I'm going to show here this morning that you are asking that we set that hearing date for you. It's going to be, if you don't make your bond, January 21st at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Again, that court date is going to be January 21st at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Now, as I mentioned earlier here, you are charged with 2 misdemeanors. So I'm going to go ahead. Excuse me 1 second. I was just confirming. Yep, January 21st. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you your bond amounts here, sir. The battery carries a bond amount of $3,500. The cruelty to children carries a bond amount of $5,000. So your total bond is $8,500. Now, you also do have special conditions, Mr. Vieira. You're going to have to stay away from Shakira Guzman. You're also going to have to stay away from the address of 276 Fort Riverdale Road. And so as I mentioned earlier to the other gentleman, if you lived at that address, Mr. Vieira, before this incident happened, please understand you are not allowed to return there unless you make your bond, and you are only allowed to return with the sheriff's office to accompany you to get any items that belong to you, and then you have to leave. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about anything of me, sir?
No, that's about it.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, does he qualify for a court-appointed attorney?
Oh, my apologies. I'm sorry. Deputies, can we get Mr. Vieira back up? I don't, he didn't answer those questions.
Whose name was on there, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Vieira, I'm sorry, I meant to ask you one other thing here. I saw here the paperwork that I got, you did not have an opportunity to answer it. Are you currently working, sir?
Yes, I am.
And how much are you earning per month?
Per month, about 4,000.
4,000?
Yeah.
Okay. And so based on that, sir, you do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney. And so if you need one for your case here, you're going to have to hire your own. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. That should take us to Mr. Wedlow. Hi, is it Mr. Wedlow? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
That's where he was. They haven't made a placement right
All right. Mr. Wedlow, are you working right now?
No, sir.
All right, so Mr. Wedlow, you are charged with 1 count of violating a family violence order. That is a misdemeanor, sir. And that means you have a right to a preliminary hearing that I mentioned earlier, or you can waive that right to that hearing. Would you like to have that hearing or waive it?
I would like to have that hearing, sir.
All right, so I am going to show here that you are requesting that we set that hearing date for you, sir. And so it's going to be January 21st at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Again, so if you don't make your bond, your next court date is going to be January 21st, 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, your bond amount, Mr. Wedlow, for the 1 count of family violence violation is $7,500. You do have special conditions, and they are to stay away from the alleged victim here, Eric Wedlow, as well as to stay away from the address of 8571 Taylor Road. Now, sir, I know you had allegedly a previous order to stay away. If that was somewhere that you had been living at some point prior to this and you have items there that belong to you, please understand you are not allowed to return to that address unless and until you make that bond, and you have to be accompanied by the sheriff within 10 days of your release. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
Any questions I can answer for you, Mr. Wedlow?
You said my bond is 7,000.
7,500.
Is that 10% or it's a full?
So if you wanted to do the full, of course, it would be the 7,500 plus any fees. If you decided that you didn't have that and you wanted to do a bonding company instead, then you'd be responsible for 15% of that, and 15% of 750 is going to be roughly about $1,000 that you'd be responsible for.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions I can answer for you, sir?
No, sir. That's it.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Last up on dot should be Mr. Woods.
Yep.
April, somewhere.
Are you Mr. Woods?
Yeah.
Are you Mr. Woods?
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Woods, you are charged with a misdemeanor, one count of criminal trespass, sir. Because it is a misdemeanor, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that right. Would you like to have your preliminary hearing or waive it, sir?
Just wait it.
All right, so I am going to show here that you are waiving your right to your preliminary hearing. That means that the deputies here to your right will have a piece of paper that you're going to have to sign here in a moment, okay? Now, as to your bond, sir, for this one count of trespass, your bond amount is $2,500. You do have special conditions, and they are to stay away from 11139 Terra Boulevard. Again, that's 11139 Terra Boulevard. Do you understand that, sir?
Yep.
Now, are you working right now?
No, not yet, not yet.
Okay. So based on that, sir, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer, and so you will have a lawyer free of charge to assist you on your case. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Any questions I can answer for you, sir?
No.
All right, sir, then that's all I have for you this morning. Good luck to you.
Alright. Love this one.
All right. So that should be deputy, all parties off of job.
Yeah.
You said you went off the dots, Jan?
I said we should be off
Person
job
alert.
now.
Alright, we should be off jobs right now. First person up.
And is it Mr. Baker?
Yes.
All right, so Mr. Baker, you are charged with one count of felony violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, one count of misdemeanor violation of the Controlled Substances Act, and one count of improper tag. The bond amount for the misdemeanor drugs carries a bond of $1,000. The bond amount of the no tag is $500. The felony drugs ending in 168 as a warrant, I'm going to put you on a no bond status, sir. I'm showing here that you're currently on probation out of Clayton County. Do you understand that, sir?
Yeah.
Now, because you are charged with a felony, your next court date, should you not make the bond, which you can't at this point, is going to be January 22nd of 2025, and that's going to be at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Now, also, because you're on a no bond here this morning, sir, you're going to get a second court date. That second court date is going to be where they're going to have the opportunity to review your bond again. Okay? And that court date, sir, is going to be January 24th, 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Again, it's January 24th, and that's going to be at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Okay, Mr. Baker?
Yeah.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Alright.
Next up should be Brown, and after Brown, I have Hagens, and then
Your Honor,
Yeah.
Brown does have a mental illness, but if you start
Okay.
running around me.
okay, we'll see if we can make it through. All right.
Put
So,
your hands down.
Mr. Brown, I'm going to make this real quick for you,
Head up.
sir.
Lift your head up.
Mr. Brown, I'm going to let you go this morning, okay?
Yes, sir.
So they're going to release you. The police didn't put everything down that they needed to on your paperwork, and so I'm going to let you go home once they release you, okay?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions for me about anything, Mr. Brown?
No, sir, I don't have any questions.
All right, Mr. Brown, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Thank you for the love, sir. I love you.
Yes,
God
sir.
bless you.
Yes, sir.
God bless you, sir. I love you, sir.
Look this way,
Hey,
Mr. Brown.
bro, step away from the computer. Next man, step up.
He's in front.
I gotta get the American dentist.
What's your last name, sir?
Hey.
All right. All right, so Mr. Hagens, I'm showing here that you were charged with one count of loitering or prowling, one count of obstruction of an officer, and one count of possession of marijuana less than 1 ounce. Sir, I did have an opportunity to review the information that was provided to me this morning. I am going to go ahead and release you here this morning. Now, let me be clear, sir, that does not mean that your case is closed. It just simply means that you will not remain in custody until such time as your next court date. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Now, as it relates to the information you provided, I show here that you are working. About how much are you earning per month?
Depends on my house.
Oh, and roughly on average, how much is it?
I mean, if my junk don't get cut, it's like 600.
Okay, so based on that, sir, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer here So you'll have a lawyer free of charge to assist you on your case, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any questions? Do you have any questions for me about anything, sir?
No, I don't, sir.
All right, sir. Good luck to you. All
Sign your name right here.
right, next up should be Jacobs, McCowan, and then I believe I have Shirley. Are you Mr. Jacobs?
Nah, I'm Amora.
Say that one more time, sir.
Amora.
Amari. How do you spell the last name?
MCCOWAN.
Oh, McCowan.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
okay, we'll come back to that. Give me 1 second, Mr. McCowan.
Hello.
All right, so Mr. McCowan, you were charged with 1 count of misdemeanor obstruction of an officer, sir. Based on the information that I have here, I am gonna go ahead, I'm gonna release you this morning, sir. Let me be clear, as I told the gentleman before you, that does not mean that your case is closed, sir. All that simply means is that I'm allowing you to go home until your next court date, okay?
And when would that be?
So you're gonna get that court date in the mail, so that's why it's very important that when you're released, you make sure they have a good address for you, okay?
I don't have an address right now, sir.
Okay, so then the only other thing I can tell you is you want to check up periodically at the courthouse so that you'll be able to come to the courthouse and they'll tell you what the new date's gonna be there, okay?
Wait, so I ain't got to post no bond.
No, sir, you will not have to post a bond.
Appreciate that.
So let me ask you this though, Mr. Cowan, before you go.
It's
Okay, I've got it right here. So based on the information, sir, I am gonna go ahead, I'm gonna appoint you a court-appointed lawyer, Mr. McCowan, and so you will have a lawyer free of charge to assist you on your case, okay?
I appreciate that.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
It's all.
Next man up.
Hey, so I ain't got.
All right. And are you Mr. Jacobs or Mr. Shirley? All right. So, Mr. Jacobs, you are charged with 1 count of loitering or prowling and 1 count of public indecency. These are both misdemeanors, sir. Because these are misdemeanors, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you have a right to waive that hearing. Would you like to have that hearing or waive it, sir?
Have it.
All right, so I am showing here that you are asking to have the hearing. And so your next court date, should you not make your bond, sir, is going to be January 21st at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Again, that's January 21st, 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that? Do you understand that, sir? Mr. Jacobs, can you hear me?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs, are you working right now?
Yes.
How much money are you earning per month?
No, I get basic income.
Say that one more time for me.
Basic income.
Okay. So what I'm going to do just to protect you, sir, I'm going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer. So you will have a lawyer free of charge to assist you on your case, okay? Now, as to your bond amount, sir, your bond amount on that loitering is $1,000. Your bond amount on the indecency is $2,000 for a total of $3,000. Do you understand? You do have special conditions, sir, and they are to stay away from the address of 5097 West Fayetteville Road. Again, that's 5097 West Fayetteville Road. Do you understand that? Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No.
All right, Mr. Jacobs, then that's all I have for you this morning, sir. Good luck to you.
Come on, sir.
Are you Mr. Shirley?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Shirley, you were charged with 1 count of being in possession of an illegal substance here in the Clayton County Jail. I was reviewing the information I have here, sir. As I understand it, you are currently on probation out of Henry County. And so as a result of that, sir, I am not permitted to give you bond here this morning. So because of that, I'm going to give you 2 new court dates. Your first court date is going to be your preliminary hearing. That's going to be on January 22nd of 2024. And that's going to be at 2025. And that's going to be at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Again, that's January 22nd. That's going to be at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Your second court date that I mentioned is going to be your bond hearing date, where they can reconsider your bond. And that's going to be 2 days after, on January 24th at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that, Mr. Shirley?
Sir.
All right. Only other thing I need to tell you, sir, is I have reviewed the information here this morning. You do qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, so I have gone ahead and appointed you a lawyer this morning, okay?
All right.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
That's it, just.
He's at 5:15, take it out.
Hey,
Now you, Mr. Wilson?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wilson, you are charged with one count of obstruction of an officer. That is a misdemeanor, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because you are charged with a misdemeanor, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that hearing, sir. Would you like to have that hearing or waive it?
Have it.
You know, anyone going back?
So I'm gonna show here this morning, you are asking us to set that hearing date for you if you don't make your bond. So your next hearing, your court date is gonna be January 21st at
Okay.
8:30 a.m. and that's gonna be via Zoom. Again, that's January 21st at 8:30 a.m. and that's via Zoom. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Now, the bond amount is $2,500 on this obstruction charge, okay?
I thought that was a misdemeanor.
It is. Lastly, sir, based on the information you provided here this morning, Mr. Wilson, I have gone ahead and I've appointed you a court-appointed lawyer. And so you will have a lawyer free of charge to assist you on your case. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions I can answer for you, Mr. Wilson?
No, sir. I wanted to understand how I didn't get to get the release when I only got a misdemeanor.
Because that's a determination that I make, sir, and I don't believe that you qualify for one based on those charges.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you.
Last but not least will be Mr. Walker.
All right. And Deputy, I think I heard you correctly. You said Mr. or Miss Ferguson bonded out. Is that right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, got it. All right, Mr. Walker, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Walker, we're gonna go through your charges here. First, you are charged with felony, one count of aggravated assault on a police officer. Your second count, sir, is also aggravated assault on a police officer. Your third count is obstruction of an officer as a misdemeanor. Your fourth count, sir, is loitering or prowling, also as a misdemeanor. Then you also have a hit and run as a misdemeanor. You have fleeing or attempting to elude as a felony, a police officer. Do you understand that, Mr. Walker?
Yes, sir.
Now, I want to make sure that I'm looking at this information here correctly. You are not currently working, is that correct?
No, sir.
Because you are not currently working, sir, you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, and so you will get an attorney free of charge, okay? Can you hear me, Mr. Walker?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, give me one moment here and we're gonna go through the bond for you. But you actually were supposed to have been here a few days ago. And for whatever reason, it did not carry you over here this morning. Let me see if we can.
I believe it's because he hospital, Your Honor.
Yeah, I know, and it should have carried him over because I saw it a few days ago when Judge Ferry had him on here. Let's see if it lets me search. I think this is it.
And him also. Wilson.
This one?
No, he back there. Short.
And let's see, 20. So I had it on the 22nd. So let's see. Let's try this one. Give me 1 second, Mr. Walker. I think I've got found you here. Hey, you're not coming up at all. Mr. Walker, do you happen to recall what date you were taken into custody?
Say that again, Your Honor.
Do you happen to recall what date you were taken into custody?
That I want to get them.
Oh, really? I think it was 19.
You said the 19th? Is that what you said, Mr. Walker?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Let me go back to that day because I remember seeing you come up, but I know that there was an issue with you here, and for some reason you didn't show up on my calendar, so I wasn't sure if you would actually be here or not.
I'm checking this, as well, Your Honor.
Yeah, I know I saw it and it just didn't populate this morning. So it's not the 19. Let's see, let's try the 20th. Because it was either Judge Bridgewater or Ferry, because I saw it the last time I was on. Oh, not the 20th.
I'm showing 12/22, Your Honor.
Oh, I look at that one. Okay, let me try that one. Okay, so maybe it was the last when I had him and then I had to continue him. That may have been what it did. But he's not showing up on here either. If that's the date, I got him. Yep, I see it right here. All right, Mr. Walker, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we've gone over your charges, sir. I'm gonna go over with the bond that was done. It was done by one of my colleagues, but you're showing up for whatever reason. The last day you were here was on a day that I was present. So the bond that you were given, you essentially were given, I don't know why. Let's take this off. So we're gonna go through it one by one. All right, so aggravated assault on a police officer, sir. I'm gonna put you on, if it will allow me. So it's not allowing me to edit it.
It's not going to.
No, because it's got where Judge Ferry or Judge Bridgewater approved it, but they've got as a bond, it only has 0.
Right.
And it doesn't
And I think
have,
because the day is over, once the day is gone, it doesn't allow you to go back in there. So we'll have to do it by paper.
okay. Then here's what we're gonna do, Mr. Walker. Since I've read over this, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. So as to the aggravated assault, because I'm aware of the facts, I'm gonna do a handwritten bond here today and have it sent in. The first kind of aggravated assault on a police officer, sir, is a felony. I'm gonna put you on a no bond on that because of the facts. The aggravated assault on a police officer, I'm gonna put you on a no bond as a result of the facts on that. The misdemeanor obstruction of an officer, your bond amount is gonna be $2,500. The misdemeanor loitering or prowling is also gonna be a bond amount of $2,500. The hit and run is as a misdemeanor. That bond amount, sir, is gonna be $5,000. And then finally, the felony fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer, that is a felony, sir. That bond amount is also gonna be a no bond. Because you have been put on a no bond status, sir, you're gonna have 2 court dates. The first court date is gonna be your preliminary hearing date. That's gonna be January 22nd. That's gonna be at 8:30 a.m. and that's gonna be via Zoom. The second court date, sir, is also gonna be in January. It's gonna be January 24th, and that's gonna be 8:30 a.m. and that's gonna be via Zoom. Now, based on the information you provided to me this morning, Mr. Walker, I have gone ahead and I've appointed you a court-appointed lawyer, so you will have a lawyer free of charge to assist you on your case. Do you understand that, Mr. Walker?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Walker, do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
All right, then that's all I have for you, sir. Good luck to you.
All right, Your Honor, that will conclude first appearance of today's calendar.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Yate, I'll just submit that when I submit the paperwork, that one.
Okay. All right, and I had a question for someone once everyone log off, for
Okay,
you to stay on.
okay. I think he confirmed that Ferguson was the only one I wasn't sure about myself.
Yeah, I know Ferguson did show, that he was out to bond.
Right.
And then there's one that you gave a bond of 3,500, but you stated 2,500, but it's 3,500 in dots.
It was, and I thought I changed it to it was a gentleman. Oh, what was that guy's name? I saw that, but since I told him 25, I ended up I thought I saved it for 25. Let me get
I
back.
I did write 2,500. I'm
Yeah,
trying
'cause
to
I
find
thought
it
as I was
now.
saying it to him, I said 25, and I saw it where it said 35.
You might have went on ahead and changed it.
'Cause
Yep.
as I was saying it, I think it was Mr.
I think it was
Wedlock.
Steve. Was it Woods or Stevens? It was one of them, but I know I put what you said.
So Wedlow has 2,500 on a battery. I know it was
Right.
a battery.
I think it was Stevens,
Stevens,
but it's 2,500. You
simple
changed it.
battery, 25. Yep. I was changing it as I was saying it because I realized I misread it. But yep, it's on my end on Josh, it's saying 2,500.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. So let me just check, make sure these are all, because sometimes they don't gray them out. It doesn't gray out immediately, so it always makes me nervous.
Taylor is not grayed out. Vera is not grayed out, and Woods is not grayed out. But
Yeah.
they had Willis Woods in CPU8.
And see, I don't know why it does this. So normally what I end up doing is just sitting and keep double checking. So they just won't do it. And while I was talking to some of them, I kept going back to a few of these and putting their signature, my signature on it multiple times. So
It shows that you signed on Taylor.
Taylor, I
Vera.
just did Berry again, and then I'm doing Woods again.
Yep.
Let's see.
And Woods. Yep, they're all signed, so they can't say you didn't sign.
Yeah, but for some,
Alrighty.
all right, ma'am. And so, just so I'm clear then, because I had started, when you all are on here, do I still do the internal calendar or you've already done
No.
that?
No, I already did it for you.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, I should have this done in about 15 minutes then.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, next question. 1 minute. Last question. For Baker, did Baker qualify for a court appointed? Jamarcus Baker?
Oh, that was the first guy off job. Let's see. Baker.
Kevin Brown, I know he qualified.
Baker did qualify.
Alrighty. Thank you, Your Honor.
Ma'am, thank you. You have a good rest of your day.